Now let's rewind for a second and look at South Africa in the early 90s. The contradictions of white girl beauty were kind of insane. So be skinny, number one, but eat everything on your plate and also what grandma gives you. Be pious, that means no short skirts. And a lady shouldn't show too much of her personality. Be white, but also not too white, not vampire white. You need to be kind of brown, so because brown fat looks better than white fat, or something to that effect. I really envied the Zulu, Xhosa, Tsonga girls because they still had that matofo, which I still envy to this day. It was basically the unspoken fashion strategy. If you were a woman in South Africa, your hair is your crown. So if you're white, that meant blonde. If not, that meant weave. And it didn't really matter what color you are. We all had to use a lot of product. Nobody was going natural in the 90s. The unspoken fashion strategy was then basically South African styling that flaunts the upper body. Waist to hip ratio was the thing. And then deep hip lines, deep necklines, structural tailoring, everything to show what you've got. Take up space because we're creatures of power. But then you land in Korea, you get off the bus. And the first thing you see is a girl with a skirt so short you could see her name and surname. And your brain almost breaks. She's in heels, it's March, it's insane. March is very cold for those of you who land down Greek. And everything that's supposed to be a proper woman just flipped in my head. I was like, wait, if the rules are this different 9,000 kilometers away, were they ever real? Or did women just get really good at playing the hand that they were dealt? So let's get into the first engine, skin. You go to the supermarket to buy skincare in Korea. Mistake number one. Because everything says whitening, and also you shouldn't buy skincare in a supermarket in Korea. Because I'm really so white. I don't need the whitening stuff. Meanwhile, back home, all of the white girls are trying to be bronze and using all kinds of oils and things to be bronze. Because brown fat looks better than white fat. Two countries, completely opposite directions. But basically, whatever you are is not right. And it's interesting with the skin that, the glass skin isn't about looking pretty. Dr. Evelyn Nakao from UC Berkeley proves that hyper clear skin is a socio-economic filter. It signals that you don't do manual labor. You have the time, the money, and the genetic stability to maintain a flawless surface under pressure. Clear skin is glass armor. But let's get into the more tactical stuff, the coverage. Korean girls in March, I want you to imagine a puffy bird with just two adorable little sticks sticking up. No cleavage, not even a sexy clavicle. Opposite in South Africa and then in India, a fully exposed sari with these beautiful, elegant, waists. Considered elegant, not provocative. In Latin America, dental floss for bikinis. Need I say more? But then I thought women might just be showing men what they want them to see. Because everything isn't being covered up and not in the same way. It corresponds loosely with what looks good on them, right? This is focal point engineering. South African fashion is built for high power volume, curves, but, matofotof, structural weight and the hourglass. Korean fashion pulled off the greatest optical illusions of all time. Oversized boxy tops. Everything that eclipses and erases the torso and just makes it look like your legs for days. Both are extremely tactical. The tragedy isn't that I wasn't beautiful in Korea. The tragedy is that I brought all of my high-volume stuff to South Africa. And we completely broke my linear optical illusion. By the way, high heels were invented in Persia for men on horseback. And some way they became a woman's problem. But now for the skincare stores. There were 10 skincare stores just in my block. And every single one of them looked like a Disney princess had eaten a ballerina and dreamt about it. Free stuff everywhere. I nearly had to fight people to not give me free stuff, because in my world, free stuff is a scam. or at least a foot in the door to a scam. And it took me a while to really get into this Asian mindset of like the reason, or part of the reason they give free stuff is not just because it's in their culture, it's also a smart marketing tactic because they understand something fundamental in Asian shopping is, what is the sentence? Asians shop with their feet. It means they won't complain, they just won't come back. So yeah, in Korea, if your skin isn't perfect glass, you're not only seen as ugly, you're seen as negligent, which is bananas. But yeah, back to our crown, our hair. Blonde, weave, product, nobody went natural in the 90s, regardless of your skin color. But in Korea, I really read that like your hair texture is completely different there. They can do really, really crazy things where they like curl their hair in all kinds of magnificent ways that just wrecked my hair completely. That was really, really interesting. And if it came to makeup, in makeup you like South Africa, as soon as you can, as soon as your mom allows it, you start wearing makeup. But in Korea, makeup is for like old ladies, for Ajumma's plus, you know. And this was really interesting to me because I think it's actually really healthy to keep your skin makeup free for as long as possible. Generally also healthy. Yeah, it was kind of sad, but kind of awesome that, you know, they waited so long. And then I also thought of like when it came to skin about the men, just like in South Africa, at least Afrikaans men, they're rugged animals. They have beards, and like my brother had to fight the teachers in high school just to like prove that he wasn't, you know, he shaved in the morning, but they would never believed him. And in Korea, everyone was clean shaved. Like I don't think I ever saw a man with a beard in Korea. And now I wonder if it's not, you know, how much of this was a choice. So back to the beauty boutique thing. I sometimes really wonder how much of this is like women just played their hand, or like men have a beard because they can have a beard, or don't have a beard because they can't have a beard, and then they just sell it like it's a good thing. And this is really, really interesting. Like it's not a fashion fail, it's just a system, you know, that you're playing. And finally, the shoes. So I am 180 centimeters, that's something foot, sorry guys. And it's interesting to me that like even here in Europe, like when I go to a shoe store, it's not always a guarantee that I'll find something. Even in the big shoe stores, my feet are often too small for big shoes, but too big for normal shoes. So finding shoes is a fun game. And in Korea, I just walked in, the guy looked at me and went men's section, just instantly. Which is pretty funny, but pretty sad. But at least, guys, it's not the Song Dynasty. No one's gonna try and like wrap my feet. And with that, I leave you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Say bye, Diddy. Bye, Diddy.